Hey peeps! Well, oh my god. Hey peeps, welcome back to another video. This is kind of part 2 of the front jack and point repair. The last video was quite a while ago now, probably 2-3 months ago. I just haven't had time to get to it. Anyway, let's finish it today. So there's quite a few bits and pieces we got to do before we can call it finished. But that's where we are. I've just given it a quick wire wheel because a bit of surface rusted up here whilst it's been sat there. But yeah, what we're going to do to finish this off, so hopefully you've all seen the first video. I'm sure most of you will have. But essentially, to begin with, we welded in this straight bit of tube and then a fat plate. Obviously, I repaired the floor, so the inner sill and floor has been replaced. I just need to add some strength back to this. So we're going to tie in these outer bits were rotten. Let me move the camera. These outer bits here and here, it's like a middle brace that tied into the jack and point. They are rotten, so I've cut them back to there, and what I'm going to do is basically replicate those. It's not going to be OEM, but as close to. So I'm just going to tie this bracing down into this side of the tube, same here, just so when you jack it, it spreads the load of the car, I guess. I can't remember exactly what it looked like, but you know, I kind of get the gist. So we're going to make those patches first, and then we're going to look at, we've got to put this outer section on, and then we've got this piece here to weld in. So hopefully get all that done in this video. It's only midday, so we'll have a good run at it today. But yeah, let's get through this, get this done, and then that's that section done. We've still got to tack the rear half of the sill, but I haven't cut the whole sill off because I'm a bit concerned with how rotten this car is. I didn't want to take off the whole sill and lose the reference point, so I want to keep this in, get this piece in. Where these are, no one makes a replacement panel for the coupes. You can only get saloon panels. You have to cut and join the panels together anyway, so I'm like, so what, you know, we'll have to shorten the sill panel, the replacement panel anyway, so having a join in it isn't the end of the world because we would have had to cut it at the very least. So yeah, let's get a paper template. Just got a bit of thin cardboard. Gonna make these templates and then get them cut out of some 1mm steel, and we can tack them in. Right, so just to get started, I've made my paper templates. This is just a bit of thin cardboard. So this one is going to go roughly like that, and it's going to join up to this inner section here. So I can weld it across the top, I can weld it to this upright, and then a bit on the plate at the bottom. So that one's quite nice and simple. This side's a bit more tricky. I can't remember how this goes. I don't know if it was joined to the outer sill originally. Obviously we've added, this is a lot stronger than the original jack and point, so really all I want to do is just make sure that this doesn't flex when the car's jacked on it. So what I'm going to do here, similar thing to the front, I've just made a bit of a rough plate or template, so I'm going to basically weld that to the face of the plate to this piece, and I can just bend this round and just try and grab this curve quite nicely, get it welded to there, and that's just sort of add a bit of strength there, add plenty of strength there, and then I'll be happy. So we're going to transfer them over to some raw material now. Try and find some 2mm if I've got it. If not, we'll just use some 1.2. But yeah, we'll get that transferred across to some material, mark it out, and get it cut. Found some decent 2mm, so we're going to use that. Right, now you join me a few moments on. I've done a little bit of fettling on this piece. So this front one's quite easy. So I've just snipped the corners so it doesn't attach these welds. I want it to be a nice tight fit. So essentially that's going to live in there like that. There we go. So then we can weld that all the way to that bracket and all the way to this upright. So that's lovely and straightforward. I might just trim a little bit more material off here. Basically that point to that point there. So that's our first plate done. I'll cut that bit off, and then that's lovely to be welded in. This second piece, I've yet to fettle it, but what I'm thinking is, let's get this piece basically there. And I think I'm going to mark it, heat it, put it in the vise and bend it, just to bend it round into this piece. So I've marked this, we're going to bend this now using the vise. And test that, see how good of a fit it is. Right, so we're not far off on that. That sort of sits like that. So we've just got to trim a little bit off that top left corner up there, and then we'll just straighten this left hand edge down here as well. But yeah, pretty happy with that. That should tie in quite nicely. Right, so there's our two finished pieces. Very happy with those. Obviously we need to now, before we get these welded in, because some of these areas are going to be hard to access with paint, we now need to get some weld through etch primer. This is the best stuff I've used personally. It's not cheap. I think you can pick it up on eBay. I think it's about 15-16 quid a can. It's the best stuff I've found. I don't rate the Halford stuff. It seems to cause a lot of splatter and just general mess. This stuff is brilliant, so make sure you use this on any areas that you're not going to be able to paint after you've welded. Right, there we go, lovely, beautiful. So, give that 10 minutes or so to dry. I'm mega excited to be working on this again and getting this finished, because I started this months ago, and one thing's led to another. I've had lots going on, so I've struggled for time. Obviously, you've seen me in the other videos doing the rear end, so we have made progress. But yeah, I just needed to get this finished, because I started this and I haven't finished it, which is annoying. But yeah, happy that that's coming together. So whilst that's drying, I'll show you some of the other bits and pieces. The subframe and stuff is back from the powder coaters. So I might have shown you that previously, I can't remember. But anyway, that is now all ready to be built back up. So that's in there patiently waiting for me to get to it. So we've done everything in a nice silver powder coat. It should look pretty cool once it's all done. All the bushes are in there, everything's really waiting. So that side of the project is more or less done in terms of organised. The rear end, obviously you've seen I did the pockets and subframe mounts. The lighting's not very good, I apologise. There's a bit more wire wheeling to do, a bit of rust treatment, and then we can do underbody coating and brake lines. So that's coming together. I've also been busy prepping some other bits and pieces. This customer's car I've got in, and that's having a similar treatment. So really what I should be doing to mine, I've ended up doing to his. So that's bitten into some of my time, along with some other projects that I've been tinkering with. But yeah, so he's got a complete subframe going in, flywheel, so gearbox is off. Similar thing on this, subframe reinforcements have been done. Box is off still. I've got to mount the box, but it needs rear brake lines, so I've still got to drop the tank and do that. So both of these projects are kind of in a sort of similar state, which is halfway through, but this one is like a few days worth of work and we're at this stage, whereas obviously the silver one has been a lot more slower burning. As you know, the silver one is mine, so you know everything sort of gets put to one side with that, so no massive rush to do that. But yeah, the black one we want to crack on and get this done fairly soon because it's the customer's. I have done for him, I'm fitting a limited slip diff to his, so I've just painted, wire wheeled and painted up his diff, just to make that look a bit prettier. Fitted some Powerflex diff cover bushes. This is the LSD for the coupe, my one. I've wire wheeled it and painted the housing. I do need to change the bushes, so I'll do that at some point. In an ideal world, these covers probably want aqua blasting to bring them up real clean, but I mean, I'm not that fast. I can spend a bit longer with them, clean them up, get them a bit nicer than this, but yeah, they come out all right, to be honest. Done a similar thing with his drive shafts. Again, didn't spend ages on it. The boots still need a bit of a clean up, but yeah, they've come up pretty nice. And put it on the floor so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, so wire wheeled them, masked them up, and then just painted them. And boots want a quick rub over with some cleaner, but yeah, they almost look brand new. Not quite, but they are good. So yeah, we're in the middle of reassembling this one and obviously chipping away at my one as well, so a little bit short on time as ever, but we're making progress, which is the main thing. So yeah, pretty happy that we are finally touching the coupe again. But yeah, give me a moment, let this primer dry, I'll get the welder set up and we'll smash through welding these brackets on, and then that'll be the end of the jacking point, how to basically repair your jacking point on the 36. Obviously once that's done, you would then just cap your outer sill piece on, which I'm just going to show you very quickly. So your outer sill would be fairly straightforward. Buy these off eBay, and once the jacking point is repaired, basically just weld that back onto the car, so that's quite easy. But yeah, that's a good way of how to repair jacking point, I think. So sorry to keep you waiting probably 3 months for part 2 of this, but yeah, the main bulk of the repair was in the first video, so pretty straightforward. So yeah, you get the gist. But yeah, that's the sort of final way I finished that off. So just to confirm, the base plate was like a 5mm plate, and then the cylinder, I can't remember what that was, 60mm or 70mm, something like that. And then these two little pieces we've added today, this was out of some 2mm, so a bit sturdy. If you've only got 1mm, you could probably use it, but the trouble is it's still quite flexible. So like the OEM jacking point would be braced up and have more sort of like folds and stuff in it to add a bit of strength, but just by using the 2mm you can achieve the same thing. So yeah, always worth having. If you've got old cars, always worth having a bit of random scrap lying around. Well, I say scrap, I probably bought it new. But yeah, good to have different thickness metals to do repairs. So yeah, right, I think we should be good. Let's get this welder set up. Right, so now that's dried, we can start to get these pieces tacked in place. As I said, they're all zinc primed. Okay, that's that piece welded. So that should be solid as a rock. Leave that to cool down for a fair while because we've got some decent amount of heat into that. So yeah, let that cool down and then we can clean all this up while I wheel it and then get some more paint on it. But yeah, pretty happy with that. So obviously nothing like OEM, but it should be plenty strong enough and do what we need it to do. That's lovely and cleaned up, so I'm very happy with that. Again, time for some more primer on it. We're happy with that. So next up, we have got to, now that that's done, start looking at boxing this seal section back in. So obviously we've got to modify this saloon seal. Again, if you watch the older videos, you could see I sort of started to get this to fit. We are going to be taking the whole seal off from the rear, but I didn't want to lose this reference point I've got here. So what I wanted to do really is get this tacked in place before I then remove the rear. So there's still a little bit of modifying to be done to get that sat roughly where it's going to live, somewhere about there. So yeah, we're happy with that. All the holes line up underneath. So yeah, that's nearly ready to be welded on. But before we go crazy, we've got a bit of fettling to do. Just if you see that gap there, there's a bit of an overlap, so we need to sort that out. And yeah, we need to add this front piece as well and tie all this in. So a little bit to go yet. Right, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm just sort of winging it. But yeah, now that's all done, I've done a bit of prep on this panel. Obviously if you were putting a full seal on it, it'd be a slightly different story. But because it's got this galvanised coating, it welds terribly and it smells real bad, so you probably don't want to inhale it. So what I've done is just ground it off on all the edges. It's going to be welded on the outside and inside. So that's now fettled and fits our seal lovely. See if I can do this whilst holding the camera. So yeah, that's good. This gap pulls in, no problem. So that gets us our front edge of the seal. So you can see with this being a saloon seal, I've had to modify it quite extensively. So what we would do next, I'd probably tack this in place, and then we just basically need to close off this area here. Now the piece that I cut off was basically that. And what I now need to do is, this piece was here. So I've cut that middle section out, and I'm going to reattach this section to basically give us that corner and fold round quite nicely. Obviously it still needs a bit of fit and fettle, but that will get us to there quite nicely. So if you're using a saloon seal on a coupe, this is the way you would do it. You'd be able to use those two pieces, and then you just have a small section here to close off. However, I got very fortunate and one of my friends was breaking a coupe, so I was able to go and cut this piece off. So this corner should save me a little bit of time because it's already pre-formed. So I'm still going to tack this in place, this piece. And then I'm basically just going to modify this until that fits that lovely. So you can see it's a little bit big for what I need at the moment, but basically that is going to slot into there just perfectly once it's had a bit chopped off it, and that'll close it off nicely. So yeah, it needs a bit of work, but we're nearly there, so that's good. Right, well, I'm gonna call that a day here in this one. Didn't get as much done today as I'd like, but the main thing is the jacking point is finished, which is absolutely mint. I'm well happy with that. So that's lovely and sturdy. So yeah, next video we will get this welded on, we'll get this piece modified and attached to the sill, and then there's a small piece here that brings this down to here as well, so we'll get that finished off, and then we can basically call the front corner, driver's side, fully repaired. Which, if you remember at the beginning of this call it resto, how bad this floor and this sill was on this car, well, yeah, it was pretty bad. So it feels like a pretty big milestone to have finished that corner. We know we've still got that end to address, but that's a separate problem, and that's going to be involved because we've got to do the arch on that. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you to my loyal viewers. Lots of you have been enjoying all of my stuff, and yeah, we are flying. So now the spring's here, the warm weather's here, I'm a bit more motivated to crack on with this. All the time I've been doing customer stuff, working on my own car is a bit of a chore, to be honest, but yeah, I'm buzzing. Let's get this piece done, get this piece out of the way, and then we can hack off that sill and get stuck into that. So yeah, hopefully get this car out for summer. Don't know, it might be a big ask, but we'll see what happens, see how time goes. Obviously other stuff eats into our time as well. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.